Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing well today, and today we are going to be talking about the unfortunate murder of an entire family that vanished into thin air back on February 4th, 2010 in Fallbrook, California. It was an extremely ordinary day for the Mcstay family until 5:47 p.m. when no one heard from them again. Family consisted of Summer Mcstay, who was 43, Joseph Mcstay, who was 40, Gianni Mcstay, who was only 4, and Joseph Mcstay Jr., who just turned 3. So who was the Mcstay family? Summer was born on December 27th, 1966, which makes her a Capricorn. She was born in Los Angeles, California, and Summer was actually her nickname because her birth name was Virginia. Her family said that her name change reflected her eccentric personality, and she worked as a real estate agent. Joseph was her husband, the dad in the family. He was born November 20th, 1969. He was a Scorpio, and he was born in Akron, Ohio. He worked for a company that specialized in indoor decorative fountains. Pretty niche, but he was a manager there. Gianni was born July 9th, 2005, and Joseph Jr. was born January 31st, 2007, and what's so terrible is that he was only 3 years old for 4 days until he died. But let's get back to February 4th, 2010. What happened that day? Joseph had a work meeting that day, and Summer was home talking to her sister, who had just recently had a baby. And as I mentioned earlier, after 5:47, no one heard from any of the members of the family again. Their credit cards went cold, there was no transactions made, and it just went blank. And it went on like that for days. 4 days later, the family's car got towed in a parking lot, which was right next to the Mexican border. If you didn't know, San Diego, extremely close to Mexico. They lived in San Diego. Fallbrook is apparently a part of San Diego. I almost moved to Fallbrook, fun fact, but I did not. Anyway, so that's why the car was so close to the border. 2 days later after that, on February 10th, the police went to the house to conduct a welfare check. Upon going to the house, they saw no signs of forced entry, no foul play, so the police did not go into the home. They left. On February 13th, the family was dissatisfied with the police's welfare check, so Joseph's brother actually crawled through a window in the house. There was no one inside the house but the two family dogs, Bear and Baby Bear. So cute. But what was so sad is that these poor babies were not fed. They were starving, their food bowls were empty, and there was rotted food on the counter. So obviously no one has been there 4 days. And I just feel so bad for the poor dogs. I'm assuming they rescued them. Like, they took them back immediately. But also Summer's prescription sunglasses were on the table. If she were to just leave, why wouldn't she take her prescriptions? So no one would do that. No one would just leave their dogs not cared for, leave their prescriptions, and just flee. That wasn't the case. Somebody took them. By February 15th, the family reported all of them missing. And on February 19th, the search of the house was conducted. So they actually went into the house this time. Again, they said no foul play, no forced entry, no blood. They were completely stumped. What the hell happened? They thought maybe since their car was so close to the border that they fled to Mexico. So they told Mexican border patrol or whatever, keep an eye out for the family. All they had to search were phone records and surveillance cameras. Footage shows that the family car left the house the night of the 4th at 7 p.m. Doesn't show who's driving, doesn't show who's in there. The car's gone. So that was the last they ever saw the car, besides abandoned at the parking lot. Phone records show that the last person Joseph talked to was his work colleague, Charles Merritt. He goes by Chase. Chase said he doesn't remember what they talked about. They're just chatting on his way home. That was the last time they spoke. He doesn't remember. It wasn't memorable to him, even though he's the last person that talked to them before they went missing. Then they recovered a video of a family entering Mexico, and they're like, is that the Mcstays? It could be. There's little kids, mom and dad, but Joseph's mom insisted, no, that's not my son, so it was a dead end after that. April 2013, they still kept going back to that video of them saying that was them, and they fled to Mexico willingly. A month earlier, the FBI joined the case, and even with the FBI's help, they just thought, case closed, they fled to Mexico, that was them. Until fall 2013, it was Veterans Day, November 11th, a motorcyclist found human remains in the northern Victorville desert. By November 14th, it was discovered that there were 4 separate human remains in that gravesite. By the 15th of November, it was determined that it was the entire Mcstay family. It was confirmed that it was them. The cause of death for all of the family members, including the children, which is just so horrendous, was determined to be blunt force trauma. A sledgehammer was found at the gravesite, so that was determined to be the weapon, the murder weapon. Disgustingly. Just imagine, to a kid. Takes a special kind of evil for that. To anyone, but especially a child. A 3-year-old baby and a 4-year-old. 1 year later, November 4th, 2014, they arrested, you may have guessed it, Joseph's associate, Chase Merritt. They arrested him for the killings of the entire Mcstay family. Why? How? You may ask. How did they catch him? Well, they caught him because the dumbass left his DNA all over the car, but thank God for him being a dumbass, because what's scary to think about is if he never would have got caught. What's scary is if he did wipe down his prints in the car. That's scary, but he didn't think to do that. And he was caught, thank God. His DNA was all over the car, and detectives were not shocked because even though he passed a lie detector test back in 2010, the police did think he had strange behavior. He would just refer to them as Joseph in the past tense when he was still freshly missing. So it was not confirmed that he was dead. He was just missing. And even when they thought the case was closed, they thought he fled to Mexico. So no one ever thought that he was dead. And he kept saying he was my friend and just, speaking in the past tense. Like, how do you know he's dead? Same thing with Scott Peterson. If you don't know that story, or if you want to check out my video I did on Scott Peterson, he did the same thing with Laci. He would refer to her in the past tense when she was still missing. So that's a big tell. Anyway, Merritt actually served time before for robbery and burglary. So he was a convict. But why would he kill his friend and his whole family? Like, what was the motive behind that? So the big reason was a stupid one: money. He was a gambler. He was in a shit ton of debt, and he owed Joseph $42,000. He was forging checks in his name, and investigators believe that Joseph finally reached his limit, and that's why they had 2 calls that day, because he was like, enough is enough. I need my money. Like, who even has $42,000? Like, that's crazy. Like, to steal from someone. Like, are you joking? I would be hounding him down, calling him every second too. Like, give me my money. Like, what are you doing? So they think that because he was badgering him for his money back, rightfully so, stole $42,000 from him, they think that Chase just snapped and wanted the problem to go away. Still not sure why the whole family, I guess because they might think it was him, but like the kids, what do the kids know? Why'd you, what? Not that he should have murdered anyone, but the kids is just... It's crazy how he just took all of them out like animals or something.
And even though darkness in this man tried to overcome the light of my family, the light will always overcome the darkness. My mother, my father lost a son, a daughter-in-law, two grandsons.
You deserve to pay for what you did to Joey, Summer, Gianni, and Chubba. You deserve to suffer like my family and Summer's family has suffered. We will never hear their voices, laughs, only on videos. I feel sorry for your children, knowing what their father has done and been convicted for. It is a sad day for everyone. Joey was a kind, generous, easygoing son. His family did not deserve this, and now I know they are all together in heaven. The boys are sliding down rainbows, Joey's surfing the clouds, and poor Summer's chasing after them.
Time. There's nothing more valuable on this earth than time. And that was stolen from them. It was stolen from us.
My name is Jonah Mcstay, and I am the son of Joseph Mcstay. Throughout my life, I have often lived in the shadow of losing my father, stepmom, and two little brothers. Sometimes, just seeing another boy with their dad reminds me of the tremendous loss I have endured. Despite this, through healing, discovering my strength, and persevering,
in January 2019, he was convicted and sentenced to death. So that is the horrendous story. My camera keeps fucking dying, but that is the horrendous story of the Mcstay family murders. Please let me know what you guys think about this. What the fuck was that? Please let me know what you guys... I need to leave. I'm done. Please let me know what you guys think about this story, and thank you so much for watching, as always. And if you enjoy, please give me a like, a subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. Hope to see you back here next time. Thank you. Bye, guys.